but there are some charts to love. When you step back and stop all of the noise, there's the Bitcoin chart. It broke out of a wedge. It's been slip sliding down the little slope of that wedge, unwinding its overbought, ready for the phase 2 of the banana zone. ETH, that weekly ETH chart is a killer chart. That's a beautiful pattern. Solana versus the US dollar, broke out of the wedge, retest, up, new high, back down, all fine. Bit of a sloppy chart pattern, but in the bigger picture, it's a killer. I mean, look at that. Cup and handle, test the highs, next breakthrough, this will be the move through 1,000. But there are some charts to love. When you step back and stop all of the noise, there's the Bitcoin chart. It broke out of a wedge. It's been slip sliding down the little slope of that wedge, unwinding its overbought, ready for the phase 2 of the banana zone. ETH, that weekly ETH chart is a killer chart. That's a beautiful pattern. I don't know, you've all given up on ETH. ETH's never going to go up again. It's terrible. It's the worst thing ever. The ETH community and Vitalik save us. Just shut up. It'll be fine. Will it outperform Solana? No. Will it do very well? I'm sure it will. Generally, I think they've overbuilt block space. That's the basic problem with the layer 2s and crushing of the fees. But once the financial system builds on ETH, I think we'll be fine. So I think the financial system will build on ETH like they use Microsoft. We don't really have a choice. It's the most lindy. It's the most secure. Got the most devs. It's the most understood. ETH Bitcoin cross. I know I've tried this many times, but I honestly believe that this is either a wedge or a sideways consolidation, and it will be fine. Alt season is generally ETH over Bitcoin. If altcoin season is starting, Bitcoin dominance should fall. ETH should rise against Bitcoin. And again, I'm kind of not worried. Solana versus the US dollar, broke out of the wedge, retest, up, new high, back down, all fine. Bit of a sloppy chart pattern, but in the bigger picture, it's a killer. I mean, look at that. Cup and handle, test the highs, next breakthrough, this will be the move through 1,000. Simple as that. Solana looks beautiful. Solana versus ETH should keep outperforming ETH. So that's the risk curve I've talked about. ETH outperforms Bitcoin. Solana outperforms ETH. And then we go to Sol Bitcoin. That should break higher too. That will be the next leg, which will be alt season. And then we've got SUI, which is the stronger token, earlier, slightly riskier. SUI. And again, just because you guys are going to snapshot this and he's pumping his own bags. Yes, I am. I'm on the foundation. But actually, the majority of my crypto, liquid crypto, is in SUI now. And I'm looking for the switch to go 100%, which I don't recommend for most people. I don't. And it scares the shit out of the SUI board when I tell them that, because then it's all their fault and I can blame them. And that's not with any inside information, honestly. I'm telling you, it's nothing. It's because of the chart. So it's a beautiful inverse head and shoulders base, retested the base. I did a big amount of switching. I will do more. And I think that it should outperform over time. So I'm just trying to bet on the fastest horse. I'm just a profit maxi, trying to create the most wealth I can for myself and family and everybody else. Deep book, the liquidity layer to SUI. I've talked about this before. It's been a recommendation. It has done very well. It's like SUI beta. And it looks again like it's forming a wedge. Another beautiful chart. Deep book versus SUI seems to be doing the same kind of thing. That looks great. Doge, the king of all cryptocurrencies. And I'll come on to this point in a sec. That chart is killer. These are altcoin seasons. This is the risk curve. Doge is such a beautiful chart every time. And here's the money shot, the greatest chart of all time, and maybe the most hilarious chart of all time, is that Doge has outperformed Bitcoin by 500% since inception. And if we break from here higher versus Bitcoin, Doge will be the hardest money on the galaxy and Bitcoin will not be. And I think that would be the most hilarious outcome in all of crypto, that Doge ends up being the hardest money ever created. And I'm rooting for that. I'm going to have some Doge. I just think it would be hilarious.